to the S.H.O.P, the Social Hub of Positivity. Not, as you can probably guess, in the Social Hub of Positivity, but with this amazing bundle of positivity. If you're a Spurs fan or not, actually, I know a lot of sports fans and football fans alike respect this amazing person's history and record, and he ain't a Beatle, but you're close to it. Mr. Steve Perryman for the second time. I'm a lucky boy. I'm a lucky boy. It's lovely to see you again.
When I made my debut as a 17-year-old, I think the Beatles just put out their first song.
Was that
69?
69?
Yeah, there was some special reason about the Beatles, and therefore when I got presented on the pitch for my 50th year anniversary of my debut, then there was a whole big story about the Beatles. Plus,
Wicked.
not that I'm a Beatle, as you said.
No, but I tell you what, it's funny because you did transcend a few of the eras, not just of the Beatles, but of particularly Tottenham's success. So you, and obviously for those that don't know, Mr. Perriman here has got the record for the most appearances for Tottenham, which in itself, do you think that'll ever be repeated? How much is it? It's
probably not. There's some varying stories about my appearances. Some they involve the charity Shield, for instance.
Yeah.
Some they don't.
Well, they have to.
100,000 there.
Well, I was going to say, 1 second. It's not just how many people there. Is it representing Tottenham in a football match?
Absolutely.
Well,
with the shirt on.
With the shirt on, yeah. And I
you're
don't care
leading
what
them
it
out.
says. Do you want to win it? Do you play
and there's
it?
a trophy at the end of it.
Yeah,
so
you want to win it.
I suggest that's worthy of an appearance.
Yeah, 100%.
But so it's either 854 or 866.
Right.
So
as long as it's not 666, we're all right, aren't we?
Yeah, 19 years.
You little devil.
19 years suggests that won't be beaten. And all I can imagine is that if they found an exceptional young goalkeeper, but goalkeepers don't get in young, they don't stay in.
Yeah.
And they can play a bit longer.
Yes.
Pat Jennings, for instance, was 40 years of age in the Mexico World Cup. So if a young goalkeeper gets in, homegrown,
yeah,
you just might get it. And I hope someone does, actually.
What? Really?
Yeah, well, why not? Why not? It means Tottenham, Tottenham have found a good player and he's consistent enough and not injured enough to make the appearances that I did. So, so
which is incredible because I think that the sports science and everything else with all the different bits regarding diet, lifestyle, all sorts of stuff that's changed over the period, that would point to football players being better looked after. Some would say pampered compared to sports gear, the boots, everything else.
I think you can overdo all of that.
Yeah. Well, apparently.
The element of science in my career was get on with it.
Yeah. Let's carry that. Well, it worked for you.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
And actually, if you're out the team, you would think, maybe I'm not going to get back in.
Yeah.
So you hung on in there and played, and you were very rarely 100% fit. Very rarely.
So I could have been a professional football player then.
I mean, we were fit physically, but there would have been some minor twinge or something going on that if you were not so robust, you could think, I can't play.
Yeah.
I shouldn't play. I might make that worse.
Yeah.
But if you've got a positive attitude to all of this, you trust the medical opinion.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for. That's what they're getting paid for.
Yeah.
And I always ask the question, will this get worse? And if the answer was, Steve, no, it won't.
Yeah. Wow. That is incredible. So many things have changed. What would you say is the biggest thing that you would say was a positive that's changed in the game since you were playing right through the 80s, weren't you?
Yeah, probably diet. Probably diet, and that's what Wenger changed at Arsenal when he walked into the job.
Yeah.
From having been in Japan.
That's right, Grandpa said.
And probably.
Same time as you or not?
We had 6 months together.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I always credit him with having a lot of influence on the way.
So
What do I
the
know?
dietary aspect of an athlete, which the footballer is an athlete, should be that it should be put in front of you more what's a no-no.
Yeah.
For instance, McDonald's.
And any other.
Nicky Hazard lived on McDonald's. And crisps,
what a legend.
And crisps.
Did he really?
But could play. Of course he could play.
Yeah.
So
well, he didn't play as much because who he had in front of him, surely. Ozzy, Glenn, Ricky.
But he wasn't ever the fittest animal in terms of lasting 90 minutes when he got his chance.
Yeah.
You know, 70 minutes would be unbelievable. And you say, why is this kid not in the team?
Yeah.
And then the last 20 minutes, you say, why is he in the team? And I think that was about how he sort of lived his life.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, he'd come from Sunderland.
Yeah.
He's in digs.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
He hasn't got a mum and dad saying, hold on, steady. Be it sleep, be it diet, be it discipline, be it anything.
Yeah.
You sort of left your own devices. That's me having spoken as a person who's never been in digs. I would never join a club where I had to go home on my home bed, leave home on my home bed.
Yeah.
So, but that's me surmising.
Yeah.
And but some just find the right path.
Yeah.
I think I was one of those. I listened to experience of others.
Yeah.
Be it for fitness, be it for, when I made my debut as a 17-year-old, I never touched the ball for 7 minutes. I was chasing here and chasing there, and I want to have a touch. And the ball goes out of play, and after 7 minutes, I look up at the clock, 3:07. How am I going to last? How am I going to get 90 plus minutes out of this body? I can't breathe. Yeah. Anyway, eventually you get into it, and but you got senior players saying, "Steve, have a rest. Just have a rest now.
Yeah.
Just stand still." And you want to impress, don't you? You want to do your stuff. So, but experience of the people that led me. And gave me a football integrity, if you like, Bill Nicholson, Eddie Bailey.
Yeah.
They weren't backward in telling you what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing.
In and out of the game.
Not so much, absolutely, but not so much diet.
Yeah.
I mean, they controlled your diet when you were at the training ground or you were travelling to go and play a game up in Newcastle. Of course they were. They were paying for the food. Why would they let you eat wrongly?
Yeah.
But they led you into an attitude, and I've used it before. Get on with it.
Yeah.
Steve, get on with it. And it's not a bad attitude to have.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It's the next.
Yeah.
The next is the important. What's the most important minute in a football match? We got asked that one day, and nobody answered because we thought it was a trick question.
Yeah.
And then the manager says,
"First minute."
I'll ask again. Someone said first minute, as if start right.
Yeah.
He said, no, the next minute. The next minute is the most important minute.
Interesting.
3-0 up, 3-0 down.
Yeah.
The next minute could make it 3-1
yes.
up.
Yeah.
Or 3-1 down, and you're starting back in the game.
Yeah.
So you get overcome by what's just happened.
Yeah. That's isn't
It's
it?
gone.
The psychology is massive.
Very much so, yeah.
Is that when you were a coach?
But it was a homemade.
Well?
But it was a homemade psychology.
Yeah, but you then you put it into practice. You picked up you got the T-shirt, you got the medals to prove it. You then went on to be a coach. Not only you're very successful with what you do, the players in Japan. How you brought that game on out there, but also you and Ozzy managed Tottenham, which obviously from my perspective, it's beyond.
My whole thing was not to be a successful manager, not to be. Of course, you want to be success, but I wanted to lead young players I wanted to lead them on the field as a captain.
Yeah.
I wanted to improve them at this moment. So if I tell him to turn, and he can turn, and then his head comes up and we're now attacking, that helps the team, that helps him. But the overall improvement as well for, say, a Mickey Hazard, to improve his game.
He is, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
He came up and helped us out. He's brilliant.
Sure. Yeah. So that was so when you get old playing, your legs give up. Your mind's getting better by the minute.
Yeah.
Your decision making, all those things.
Yeah.
But your legs can't carry out
what
you know you should be doing. It's very cruel.
Yeah.
And it's it became an open book to me when I was about 27. And I can't ever say the game was easy. But at 27, Steve Perriman saw the light. And I think that was just a build-up of experiences, of times, of things happening to you.
Yeah.
That you're now... It's almost like reading a book. Yeah. I knew what was coming next. I knew what was happening. Therefore, I was moving first.
Yeah.
It's how long you've got from that moment, for me, 27, to the moment your legs give up.
Yeah.
And that's your purple patch. Because you're doing your job beforehand. You're running around. You're being a team member. You're listening to the manager. You're doing what he wants, etc. But now you're leading yourself plus that.
Yeah.
That's your purple patch. So I wanted to transmit that to young players, almost to help them. This is a bit dangerous, but to help them become experienced before it happened naturally.
Yeah.
There's a danger in becoming too experienced too soon, because you could get then a young player, and there's one or two spring to mind, particularly at Tottenham, where you say, oh, they know it all. They can't be told. They know it all. Therefore, you stop learning.
Yeah.
So I think I was open-eared, open-eyed, knew when to talk, knew when to ask a question, didn't suffer fools, never really bent my knee to anyone.
Yeah.
But if it was senior, be it the captain, Mallory, Peters, Bill Nicholson, Eddie Bailey, whatever, the current manager, then of course their right is to tell you how it should be. As a captain, as I developed into, it's my right to tell them when I thought they were wrong. Yeah. They either listened or they didn't. Okay, well, that's why you're the manager, you decide.
But
so, the famous thing of me, Keith Burkett, you're saying to me, would you pick Ricky for the replay? I said, not a chance. Then he goes and scores 2 goals in the replay, scores the greatest goal you'll ever see in an FA Cup final. So how wrong was I?
Yeah.
You never know. We might have won by 5 clear goals had Ricky not played. So
all decisions come with consequence.
Sure.
Do you think you got that worldview? Because if it wasn't, when you do FA badges now, there's a big, they do that whole division of the physical, the emotional, whatever, but the psychological aspects of coaching and developing players. Do you think yours come from the family? You know, that yours was imbued with you at a young age, and therefore you just replicated everywhere you
influence. Just that's influence, isn't it? Positive influence. My 2 brothers led me over the field, over the park, out in the street to play with a ball, be it cricket or football or whatever it was. Instead of saying to me, come on, let's go and raid the sweet shop. Yeah. If that was the case, maybe I was that, maybe I wouldn't have been this. Yeah. So I still believe in the influences of a mentor. I met the right mentors at the right age. My oldest brother led me to being a captain by my voice on the pitch and my opinion on the pitch. Yeah. Not bolshy, hopefully, but above my own age group. Yeah. Went to Tottenham as a 15-year-old from school, met a chap called Phil Holder, Phil was one of 12. Had to fight his corner to get fed, to get his shirt ironed, to go out on a Saturday night, whatever. So he was about 2 years older than us in a way.
Yeah.
And he led me into being competitive and don't take any crap off anyone, particularly an opponent.
Yeah.
And that was an era where you couldn't dare do that.
Yeah.
And you had to fight your corner. So but the general influences of Bill, Nick and Bailey, who I keep mentioning, and other managers and other influences, experienced players. But there's some people that stand out in sort of getting me over that line, getting me over the schoolboy line into being a professional, getting me over that line into making a debut, getting me over the line of playing 300 games. Instead of thinking, I've made it, I've played 300 games, so I'm top Johnny. Yeah. No, there's a bit to do yet.
Yeah.
And then, but you've got to have open ears and eyes to listen to people at every stage of your upbringing. But it starts with your upbringing, and so I always say, I don't read books, but I read faces.
I better shut my cover then.
Close up now.
Yeah. Whoops. And goodbye from me and goodbye from him. Happy Christmas, everyone.
Obviously, I keep helping you because I like you.
Oh, bless. That means a lot. I'm going to start crying then.
No, but you're
genuine. Means a lot.
But you're genuine. You're genuine, and you're doing it for the right reason. You're coming from the right direction. So, but you meet a lot of people. You imagine you're captain of Tottenham. I got invited. I'm still getting invites.
Yeah, of course.
I got an invite the other day to go to Malta with my wife to speak to the group there. So I don't think they would invite me if I was a toe the line.
Yeah.
Tottenham, everything's great, everything's right, you're supporting the right club. Well, guess what, it's not.
No. If only.
I wish it was, but it's not.
It's kind of part of the adventure, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Isn't it? It's always been. I mean, that's why those glory. I'm lucky. I was thanks to my brother, Mike, who bizarrely enough, you were his favourite player. And he introduced me to Tottenham. I mean, I had 4 older brothers and could have gone either way. I could have supported Leeds, Man United.
Sure.
In fact, I think he supported Tottenham because my older brother, supported Tottenham and got him to support Tottenham. We moved to Leeds, so he wisely started supporting Leeds, but didn't tell Michael. But we're laughing now. Yeah, but through those years, so you were in the team when I supported. So you, Ben, through all my years of developing as a human being, as a kid, as someone who loves football, you've been in through all that era. So when I started watching Tottenham, all the way to the late 80s, when did you retire? Because you did the FA Cups in...
I went to Oxford, didn't I?
Yeah.
Player manager at Brentford.
Yeah.
So I think I finished about 89.
Wow. That is fantastic. 69 was it you started?
Yeah.
69 to 89.
69 in the team.
You see what I mean?
67.
No. And so you must have also been the most decorated captain. You must have lifted more medals and more
at
cups.
At Tottenham, yes. Yeah.
I mean, even Dave
Blanchflower.
The photograph you sent to Sam the other way. How lovely is that?
Brilliant.
Unbelievable. Really? 2 legends isn't wrong, but
I suppose Danny Blanchflower didn't play as long as me.
So he did the double fair play to him.
Sure.
What the Players' Cup?
The Cup the second year, and won the European Cup and this Cup. So there's 4.
4, yeah.
So
you must have had 2 UEFA,
2 FA Cups,
2
UEFA, 2 League Cups. Yeah. And I always say the FA Youth Cup.
Good. Well, what's the point of it? Is it there or isn't it?
Absolutely.
Do you have to compete for it or don't you?
That's what we compete for.
Whatever league you're in, whatever you're competing for, it's the only thing in front of you, you've got to beat it. So what about all the players that played in that thing didn't win the Youth Cup? They can't say anything.
That's what I say.
No disrespect to them.
If you're manager of a pub team and you win your league,
you've got to do it.
You're the best manager in that league.
Absolutely.
You can't be winning the Premiership because you're not competing there. You're in that pub league.
Yeah.
So where they're as serious anyone else winning on that day of that group of games.
But that's the beauty of I think team sports, whatever. But football particularly, I mean, it just happens to be the most popular sport on the planet. We are still just before the World Cup. Any thoughts on the World Cup? I've got you here, you're a bloody football legend. If I'm not going to speak to you about the World Cup, people watching this and suddenly say, oh, Ed's an idiot. Yes, I am talking about Steve doing this fantastic evening because we're at the Rotary Hall in Station Hill, Chippenham, Wiltshire, the Earth. On the 28th of January in the year of COVID 2023, this wonderful man will be telling even more stories, talking, we have food, we have all sorts of good stuff here, but I want to get back to this. Now, World Cup, your thoughts, sir?
Loved Morocco.
Yeah.
Loved them. They played with freedom.
But we were going to get Ziyech after Ajax. We weren't getting him now.
What a player.
Isn't he?
I didn't like him because he was Chelsea shit.
Yeah, no, totally. But when he was at Ajax, when we were playing against him in the Champions League.
Absolutely.
He scared the pants off me. He wasn't playing.
Did you read that about the Japanese supporters that cleared the stadium up at the end of the game?
Wow.
The Japanese team who cleaned their dressing room.
Yeah. Yes.
Not the game, only the games they won, the games they lost.
Yeah.
And had to go home.
Fantastic.
That tells you everything about the Japanese.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is it's more than football, isn't it? When it goes too far, for instance, diving and trying to get a penalty, that's not really a penalty.
Yeah.
And various things that actually, I think some of those things went on when we played France. Having said that, the referee gave us 2 penalties, so how many penalties do you want? But
well, it's when you're entitled to.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I have a problem with that. The whole thing about the VAR when our boy Harry got fouled, whether it was inside the box or not outside the box. What's the point of VAR? Why isn't VAR? I think VAR should be involved in every decision.
Why not?
Tell the ref, let the game flow, keep going. If you have to bring it back. Everyone wants a fair game. So definitely, Xhaka, bless him, what a fantastic player he is. Even though he plays for Arsenal, what a fantastic player. That was a foul at any other time of any other game in the country. I didn't get that either.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think what we're coming into is the era of, let's have a look what the public are paying to watch.
Yeah.
So don't cheat them on time.
Yeah.
Time wasting. Referees have sort of gone a bit over the top, which happens. So 10 minutes added onto a game.
Yeah.
But forget the game management, this bullshit. Game management, please, just forget it. It's anti-football.
Yeah.
It's almost easier now for coaches to teach non-football rather than football.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, I bet you can.
So let's look at the new football nations in terms. Well, they're not new, but Morocco played with freedom.
Fantastic.
Japan, that I have inside knowledge of.
Yes.
I'll come back to your point when you said it's about psychology and all this stuff, and the Japanese are right on top of all that.
Yeah.
They're second to none when it comes to all that. Also the medical side, also the dietary side, etc. You know what they lack? Shop floor football. Shop floor football that I learned when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age, over the park with my brothers, kicking someone, getting kicked, etc. And
you know my brothers then. No one knew his favourite.
But because of the it's a new profession, relatively new position.
Yes, it isn't going grassroots as much as it not growing it.
Absolutely.
I get it instinctively.
I know there's certain things that happen in every single game.
Yes, I call it the story.
Right back, wins the race with the left winger. He's running towards his own corner flag. He passes the ball back to his goalkeeper. The goalkeeper can only have one touch, for instance, in this situation. He's going to kick it, touch line in, and it's going to go about halfway line. I've seen that a million times. If I'm coaching a centre forward who stood here and doesn't make his way across there, to be part of that,
Lincoln.
I want to ask the question. Why are you not there?
Yeah.
So that's not particularly clever, but it's shop floor down to earth.
Because you've seen it, you know it. It's instinctive. A player that's grown up on that would move into that space.
And that won't be on a coaching course.
Yeah.
I've been on coaching courses. No one's ever told me how to teach a player
seen them try
to talk,
yeah,
to impart information to your teammate, how to do it, how not to do it, when to do it, and there's a huge gap in the game as per that communication.
Yeah.
And
key, isn't it? Communication.
The basics.
Yeah.
Communication. In everything.
But having that developed, that muscle developed, so that we could say you do half the game by knowing, well, obviously that's going to be his only option. If we're going to make any benefit of that, that's where to meet the ball. So, but you have to preempt that. A lot of it's preemptive.
I was at
your boy, his team, which a lot of the stuff Ben plays with, a very well coached team actually, but some of it and plays with a bit of spontaneity, because getting really good organisation is essential. It's the building blocks of the game.
Absolutely.
Knowing your position, knowing what. Yeah. But that spark of
that's
whatever.
Your base. That's your base. Yeah. What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Shop floor football.
Yeah.
Then off the back of that,
yeah,
that might be a centre forward that gets 5 more chances to have control of the ball.
Yeah.
That then shows what he's got.
Yeah.
Chest and turn.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of all those things: the experience, the naivety, and I think my career covers all of that.
Yeah.
The naivety of a 17-year-old in front of 40,000 people that don't know who you are, thinking, "Oh, we found one."
Yeah.
At the end of the game, going home, albeit we got beat, maybe thinking, "We might have found one."
Yeah.
Or I'd like to see him again. Or I think he's a player.
Yeah.
So
that's exciting.
The enjoyment
you're
of
one
that
of them,
and that's part of my strength with Tottenham people, because whether you were 25 or you were 15, you thought, he's representing me.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's
when you get when you feel let down when you've travelled to Tottenham. I remember one Wednesday evening, me and my boy Connor came from Chippenham. I think it might have been a Wednesday evening. I think we got beat 6-1 by Man City, and we got beat. I think Danny Rose got sent off. But regardless of that, the way they opened us up, and I kind of looking, I remember Carl Walker was still playing for us. I felt sorry for him. He looked like he was the only one trying, but then I started feeling sorry for myself, and I thought how bloody miserable it was going to be getting back on a Wednesday, 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I was thinking, boys, there's never an excuse for not trying, is there?
Well,
so where does that? Have you ever had a player on one of your teams that you thought, nah, you're not giving it today?
Absolutely. Won't name names, but I had to name them in a meeting.
Yeah.
And
must be heartbreaking.
That's where I come back to the captaincy bit. Yeah. It's not a what do I call it? Popularity contest. Yeah. You want to be a captain that's friends with everyone for every minute of every day. Forget it.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You cannot be a proper captain unless you say it like it is.
Yeah.
And I was brought up with people who told me how it is.
Yeah.
Just you go in this way on a career, and you just veer off for whatever reason, and then you got to go.
Yeah.
Back you go.
Yeah.
And again, that's all part of the fun, isn't it? So I, in the end, ended up being a captain that could spot something going wrong.
Yeah.
With a young player, and hopefully then putting it right. So, because that's what people did to me.
Yeah. And some great ones, some absolute legends of the game you were involved with.
Yeah. As per this situation here with the ball going to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
We had a game down at Exeter, and like an Easter, bumpy pitch, sun shining, wind blowing. Oh, freezing cold. Worst day for Steve Perriman, the player, to have played. I'm thinking, thank God I'm not playing this.
Yeah.
This is not me. Anyway, I'm sat up I'm sat up and probably 3,500 there. And our goalkeeper kicked the ball out and the wind took it out. Twice, straight out. Third time, straight out. Over the course of one half. Said to the left winger, what do you think's going to happen the next time he takes a goal kick? It's a fair chance he's coming in your direction and you've got to do more to keep it in play. Because what else are you going to work off if it's not the experience of
what's actually happening
today?
Yes,
what happens
conditions.
in general, this back
Yes, that's it. The specifics.
What's happening today?
Yeah.
And because of the conditions, because of we got
you
useless
adapt.
referee, or we got a particularly strict referee. You got a particularly strict referee on this day. Don't treat him how you treat a weak one. When you think you can overpower him, just.
When I coached, I would call it, telling my players, there's the story. There's a story of a game. You read the story, watch it unfold. For instance, the 2-0 at half time. Well, if you've been there a million times and you probably coach teams that if they're 2-0 at half time, there's a good chance they'll be 3-2 up by the end of the game.
Absolutely.
Because that other team's gone, oh yeah, we've got this.
Yeah, we're done.
Do you see Neymar?
We're done.
Do you see Neymar, the buffoon, against the Croatians?
Absolutely.
Who would ever do that against Croatians? In the half time, he was hugging the player saying, the half time of the extra time. I said, you are
That's
a
not
blessing.
using your experience.
I texted you, didn't I? I said it would be a shame to see the Brazilians going home later on.
And they were.
And they're gone. I didn't say that when they were playing Argentina.
I still liked them though.
Oh yeah.
I still like Croatia.
Yeah.
What about Modric?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
37.
I know.
I'd sign him tomorrow.
Yeah.
37,
It's unbelievable,
I don't
isn't
care.
it? It's actually that people were saying it's him and Messi. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I saw him play against us at Wembley with Barcelona against Tottenham for that 4-2 match.
Yeah.
He scored 2. He made 2 and he hit the post twice. And I turned to my comment and said, do you think our players are as amazed in awe at seeing him as we are? Because they don't appear to know where he is.
No.
Ever.
No.
And he went running.
No.
He
knows when to stand still.
Just stand still. He just, that's like, hey guys, good luck.
Yeah.
Off you go.
That's what you do.
The ball.
I do this.
I do this.
Yeah, great.
I'll be pleased. I would be pleased for him. Obviously, Lloris, we got a dog in each of the fights. I mean, we got Romero playing for Argentina, Lloris playing for.
Have you noticed with Lloris how poorly he kicks the ball for us?
It's bizarre.
And how well he kicks it for France.
Well, I don't know why.
What's happening there?
It's a confidence thing, isn't it? Do you think? No, but there is a confidence. I think he's been criticised a few times, hasn't he, in the Premiership? Whereas he can do no wrong for France because they're the reigning world champions, and he's the captain, isn't
he? Yeah.
Well, it's not bad.
I got asked on Facebook yesterday about because a lot of Spurs supporters don't think he should be captain of Spurs.
Yeah, who do you think?
And I say that I think he should be club captain.
Yeah.
Because of his experience.
Yeah.
And I want him to captain the penalty box.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he does that enough.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
In general, should a goalkeeper be captain? Not for me.
Positionally, I wouldn't have thought so.
But it depends about the other 10 in the team.
Yeah. If you've
if he's the most intelligent, he's the most this, he's the most that, have him as captain. But in general, what happens is the manager picks the captain, as is his right.
Yeah.
Some managers want the captain to toss the coin, choose which way they're going to kick, and that's it.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah.
Some leave it to the captain to change tactics on the pitch
during
the game,
as
I was trusted by the end of my career.
Yeah.
And so you've got to have this talk. When the manager wants to make you captain, so what am I signing up for? Well, just toss a coin and then that's it.
Yeah.
No, not for me.
Yeah.
You've got an opinion on the game, you've got to express it. You see it, you've got to express it.
Yeah.
We're 20 minutes into the game, we're 1-0 down. If we're not careful, we're going to be 2 or 3-0 down.
Yeah.
This needs changing now. You can't wait for another 25 minutes to go in that dressing room, to leave it to the manager to change the... So
In-game management.
So again, it's a difficult one with that. So should Lloris be captain of France? Should he be captain of Tottenham? It's about his relationship with both those managers.
Yeah.
If he's carrying out what they want, that's good enough.
Yeah. And as you say, if you've got leaders, which you should have, what sort of player? At any part of wherever they are on the pitch, you expect them to do their bit and a bit more.
In your own particular area, you've got a lead. Yeah. When you pass the ball, if you can't pass an instruction with that ball, the way you pass it and verbally, something wrong.
Yeah.
And you don't get to international class if you don't really do the extras.
Oh yeah.
And that's like someone doing, in your job, Lauren, that's like someone doing overtime that's you're not really being paid for, but you just do because it's right.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You're not looking at your contract saying, well, is that part of my job? Is that part of my job? No, it doesn't say it. It's not on the list. Okay, I won't do it then. But actually, to do that bit right now,
and it's for the good of all. I do some management training in industry. Bizarrely, a lot of people think we just work with young people, but the whole sustainable development agenda. So this paper mill looked at this. It's massive up in Deeside. It sort of used as much energy as the whole of Greater Manchester. So they make pulp, they make virgin newspapers, all this sort of stuff. But one department would be doing their bit, and exactly what you're saying. Well, no, that's not our job. So if a screw, and this is an example, went loose on one of the pulping machines, that's not me. That's electricians. That was the nature of the thing. So the whole thing, which was running 24 hours, would have to be shut down so that someone, if it was an overnight scenario, it would come and just tighten the things so that they could health and safety it, right?
Like it.
So we took them away for a weekend of management, whatever, development, and talked about the nature of how you, I'm sure, would agree a team works, which is literally what you just said. Absolutely. It's like, look, it's like an organism. If you think it's like a machine and you're all just cogs, then you don't feel, well, the training we did, but by the time they finished it, I think some of them had alcoholic poisoning, but it's one of them ones. It's like, no, you're all together in a team. Sometimes someone's leading, sometimes you follow them, because that's how it is sometimes. Some people are better at different parts of the field or in the field of
if I'm captain of the team and a cross is coming in and my goalie says, keepers, however much I think it's mine, he rules. I'm captain, but his voice rules because we're in his part of the field that he dominates. Because actually, if it ends up in your net, who gets the stick? The goalkeeper. So you have to trust in this moment the non-captain.
Captain of their arena.
The captain doesn't know everything. He's not the be-all and end-all of everything. But he knows most things.
It's kind of the central hub of a wheel, isn't it? Everything comes through it, whatever. That's interesting you say about the goalies. I'm just going to get fascinated because Pat Jennings never seemed like a shouty. Ray Clements never seemed like a shouty.
Oh, Ray Clements was the best organiser. The best organiser, sort of selfishly. Because he thinks, if I have 10 shots at me a game, I'd rather have 6. So I'm going to speak it so that I only get 6. And then I can look, my stats are going to look better. We never mentioned stats in those days, but everyone wanted a clean sheet.
Of course.
Pat Jennings was the quietest man you'll ever meet. Steve, you okay? Yes, Pat. And I used to have to move closer to him to actually hear what he was saying. But when you were 40 yards away at Old Trafford, in front of 65,000 people, and he wanted to move me 10 yards to the right, you could hear him. When game on, change.
Perfect.
That's the best way to be. And off the field, you just revert back to how you are.
Nice.
Perfect.
Never changed. Neither of you, both of you, fine head of hair. Fine head of hair, as my mother would say.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, so I'm going to call it quits. So the kids coming in here.
Potentially. Definitely.
They are.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Mr. Perlman, you're an absolute legend.
My pleasure.
We are going
Don't
to...
forget this.
This, exactly. That's what I'm about to say. So this is... We're going to put this all over this podcast,
Sure.
which is coming Sunday, that you can come and hear more stories, but you do... we've had the pleasure of being at one of your evenings before, and not only do you tell really fantastic... And it's not just about being a Tottenham fan, it's about being, you know, Jack Leeds, and he loves...
the team.
Just loves... People love... You're playing against their legends if you're not even playing
Part
with...
of the team.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Totally.
Get battered at Liverpool more than once.
Yeah, yeah.
How
But
that felt.
yeah, but the whole idea about the 28th is you're going to hear lots of different stories, but there is a question and answer part in there.
Sure.
And there's always second half of it. So look on our various media. How's this go now? How do you get a ticket to this?
It's on Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, thank
Yeah,
you,
it's
Sam.
on there now.
Yeah,
And I'm local.
you're local.
Like
How
the
are you
one
settling in, by the way?
Great. The one,
Good.
I live in Kington, St Michael.
Yeah,
And that
that's
was my
code.
shortest ever
Yeah.
walk to a venue. This is just a bit further. This is a
Yeah.
bit
That's
further,
where we saw you. You're right.
but no problem.
Yeah, nice one, sir. Right, 28th of January, Eurocovid 2022.
Come and join in.
Come and see this wonderful man and Sam Coleman and Lauren, no doubt. Thank you, everyone. Have a good Christmas and solstice and all that.
Have a
sort of
great
stuff.
Christmas.
Nice one, everyone. Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye.
Up the Spurs.